All right, guys. Today we have front lever and back lever descents. So the first thing I'm going to do is just show you how to get it set up here. So you got a set of rings. They're set up high enough from the ground. So this is the bottom of the rings are they're probably like at the bottom of my sternum, and it's just high enough so that my head won't hit the ground when I'm upside down. So you guys can, understand your height versus your athlete's height and be able to set up rings at least close. And if somebody's like skimming their head, you can adjust them up. The rings being lower is going to make it easier for our first way to get inverted. So we want them to be as low as possible. But as you get more advanced, it really won't matter. So that's how we're gonna get them set up. Obviously, make sure that the straps are out of the way. Everybody might be set up at a little bit different height, but that's where we wanna be set up. All right, so now that we're set up, why would we do front lever or back lever descents? We would do them so that we can build shoulder strength. So like when you think of a toes to bar, for example, there's a lot of this motion that happens to help get your toes closer to the bar. The front lever is holding in a static position, with arms out in front of you. So it requires all the same pulling of the backside of your shoulder that you would need to be able to do toes to bar. If you can do a front lever, you're certainly able to do a whole bunch of toes to bar. With the back lever, it's just improving your strength and extension. So both pay huge dividends. Even if you can't do one, if you can do the descents and start to slow them down, the strength that gets built from that is really good. So that's why we're doing them. Now let's work on how we're going to get inverted first, and then we'll do the modifications for the front lever. So the first way to get onto the rings in an inverted hang to get ready for back levers or front levers is the front roll to support. So it's really simple. With the same setup that I was just talking about before, we're going to go hands out in front, put the rings behind you, nose to toes, and then you're going to roll right into inverted. So this is by far the easiest way to get somebody inverted. It just takes a little bit of practice the first time that you do it. Anybody who can hold on to a pull-up bar for 30 seconds is capable of this. Just whether or not they feel comfortable upside down might be the only other limiting factor. So here's what it looks like. Don't worry, I caught you. Hands in front, rings behind, nose to toes, hop. As a coach, all you're really looking for is that the straps are in line with the arms and the shoulders. If they can do that and hang out there, be balanced, there's nothing really to stress about. Hey, the next one is the opposite, the back roll to support or to inverted hang. So like this one takes a little bit more coaching. It's generally the way that people are going to get to inverted on rings that are higher than on the floor. So they'll need to do this as they get more advanced. Okay, but it starts like this. Arms bent. Jump the hips up. Arms straighten. And that's the back roll to support. Okay. Next we have the actual descent. So we got 3 parts here for each of them. It's the same. There's the tuck position is the easiest. The cantilever position is next difficulty, and then the full lever. I have yet to experience anybody who's doing anything close to the full lever. So most people are going to be in the tuck and in the can opener. For our purposes, we're just trying to pass through nice and slow and controlled. So like we're looking at a 5-second descent or so. So here's what each one of those looks like. So we're going to do the front levers first, or the front lever descents first. Okay, so that's the tuck position. Now we can do the tuck position where we go down to parallel and then come back up. Okay, so if somebody has the strength to do that, they're certainly ready to move on to the next level, which would be the can opener variety. Okay, so the can opener variety just takes more weight away from center, makes it more difficult. You notice I fell. That's what's going to happen with most people. If somebody were able to control that down slowly, hold for any amount of time, then they could go on to the next one, which is the full lever. Which would be with both legs straight out, okay? Goal here is just slow this thing down, nice and controlled. Building strength of the shoulder, obviously the core as well, holding the plank position. So back lever is the same thing. The only difference is we're going the opposite direction. So the tuck. Can opener. And the full. So I would be working on the can opener variety. I have the tuck version, but the full version is definitely way too difficult for me. That gives you any reference point. Any questions? Let me know.